Welcome back to another video tutorial brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. Today we're going to be talking about drawing mouths. I'm going to show you how to draw a closed mouth, and it's somewhat of a formula here. We're going to start off by drawing a mashed M, and this mashed M is going to represent the line that is created when you connect the top lip with the bottom lip. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to draw the outline of the lips, the top lip and the bottom lip, when it's better to start from the center and work out. Now I'm going to draw the line that indicates the top part of the lip, and it's just like the mashed M, except it has little curved humps over the top of it. The top lip is usually a little bit thinner than the bottom lip as well, and we'll get to the bottom lip in just a minute. And to draw the bottom lip, it's kind of like a bowed out U. It does not have any of the humps. It doesn't mimic the original line we drew. Instead, it's just shape somewhat like this. Now again, this is a closed mouth. For an open mouth, you really can't follow a formula like this. You just have to look at what you're drawing. Now I'm going to draw a little smaller mouth down here because the next step is going to be dependent on that. I'm going to draw 4 little sections, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In each section, we're actually going to put hair in the mouth. Now it's not going to be hair, but if you think about drawing hair like this, then it will help you draw what we're going to do next. In section 1, you can see the line goes down and up, just like this, out from that center line. And in section 2, it's going to go up and out, just like it does down in the little grid that I drew for you, out from the center line. Now obviously this isn't hair we're drawing. It's a little bit of texture to indicate a little bit of dryness to the lips. When you draw it the first time, it's going to look a little strange. It will look like hair. But once we put the values on there, that hair will kind of disappear and it will become more natural looking texture. So we'll do this in all 4 corners, and you're kind of thinking about the contours of the lips when you do this. Well, you're actually creating cross contour lines to do this. Alright, now we need to consider the light source. So I'm going to just have the light source coming from the upper right hand corner, and we're going to go ahead and add value to the top lip. And I'm going to try to add my value in the direction that the lips follow, according to the first line that we drew, where it kind of goes up and down. I'm going to kind of add my value in that direction. You can kind of see with my pencil strokes that I'm kind of following that to a certain degree. Top lips are generally darker because light sources are usually coming from above. So I'm going to make my top lip dark to start off with. And then I'm going to move on to the bottom lip. Now with the bottom lip, it's going to have some value associated with it too. Lips usually aren't white, so we're going to add a little bit of value to that as well. Now before I add a little bit of value to the bottom, I'm making that center line a little bit darker so it stands out a little bit more. And on the bottom lip, we're going to try to indicate a little bit of the roundness of the lip. So in order to do that, we're going to let it get real light where the lip comes the furthest out. If you've watched the nose video, you'll remember that objects that protrude out are usually lighter in value, and objects that are darker in value are the objects that recede. So the same thing's true for basically anything that you're drawing, including lips. So you'll see I'm leaving a little bit of a highlighted spot for the bottom or the middle portion of the bottom lip, so it looks a little bit like light is hitting that area. I'm probably not going to leave it completely white. I might add just a little bit of value to it so it looks a little bit natural. Now I may decide to go back and make my top lip a little bit darker, because the top lip does need to be darker than the bottom lip. Just like that. Okay, next I'm going to put in a little indication of this little guy that sits over the top of your lips. I call that the mustache holder. I'm not really sure what the technical term for it is, but it's real easy to draw. You just draw a line on the side that your light source is coming from and add a little bit of value. Now there's a little bit of a break in that value before it starts on the other side of the lip, so I'm going to start adding value going down the lip like that. You'll also notice that I don't go all the way up to the lips. Instead, I leave a little bit of a white area right there of lighter value. Most lips kind of do this when they stick out. There's a little bit of a lighter value before the actual lips start. Also, I'm going to give a little indication with value of the corners of the lips. And I'll do the same thing on the side that the light source is coming from. Just because light source is coming from this way doesn't mean that there isn't value there on that side of the lip. And again, just an indication of a little bit of the corner of the mouth there with value. Be careful that you don't just make a line and leave it there. It'll look a little cartoony if you do that. Make sure that you're creating value. It can still kind of be in the shape of a line, but just make sure it's not a hard-edged line. Now underneath the lip, I'm going to leave a little bit of space where it comes off the lip too, and I'm going to pay special attention. I might exaggerate a little bit where that chin protrudes. Chins protrude out, and there's a little bit of a dark area directly underneath the lip. Most of that is because the lip actually sticks out, and there's a shadow that's cast directly underneath the lip. So I'm making sure that I add that as well. And again, this is just kind of a formula to follow. When you are drawing your subject matter, in other words, when you're drawing your portrait of the person that you're trying to draw, you need to pay special attention to these different areas. I would suggest you approach things in this order, but just make sure that you're paying attention to the little subtleties that happen. Putting all these things together is what is going to make the portrait that you draw look like the person that you're drawing. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of value on the left side, opposite of the light source. And again, I said I'm going to exaggerate that chin just a little bit, just so you'll know it's there. Now at this point I might decide to go back and just make that area right underneath the mouth just a little bit darker, just to make sure that my lips definitely look like they are protruding out. And there you have it. That's how you draw a closed mouth. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com.